We're about to get started in just a minute. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Rise and shine. We're about to go live in just a minute, you guys. Can I get everybody to just put their hands together? Hey, hey, hey. Oh. Here we go, y'all. Hey, the push is on. There's work for us to do. The push is on. The job is up to you. We can make it a better place to live in right now. Can we count on you? The push is on. There's work for us to do. Yeah, the push is on. The job is up to you. We can make it a better place to live in right now. Can we count on you? Hey, we can make it a better place. We can make it a better place. If we only try, only try. We can make it a better place. We can make it a better place. If we only try.
Good morning, and welcome to the Saturday morning forum of the Rainbow Push Coalition. We're live right here in Dr. King's workshop in the historic Hyde Park neighborhood of Chicago, Illinois. We're at 930 East 50th Street. Yes, we're live right now on WVON radio on 1690 AM on your radio, WJYS in Chicago, and the Word Network all around the country and around the world. We're live on Facebook, on YouTube, and on rainbowpush.org right now. But there's nothing like being here in the auditorium and participating with us in person and hearing our unfiltered perspective as we have shared every Saturday morning since 1971. We're in the tradition of our founder, the Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson Sr. Our mission is to gain, protect, and defend civil and human rights while leveling the economic and educational playing fields. We're supporting justice and self-determination for all people. We know that when we fight for what's right, we win even against great odds. I wish I could hear y'all in the auditorium. I said we win even against great odds. We know that the push is on and there's still work for us to do. You should call somebody and let them know that we're live on the air. If you're listening, you got time to get to 930 East 50th Street. We want to see you in the building. The push is on, and it really is work for us to do. I wish I would make some noise. Is that all right?
The push is on. There's work for us to do. Yeah, the push is on. The job is up to you. We can make it a better place to live in right now. Can we count on you? Hey, we can make it a better place. We can make it a better place. If we only try, only try. We can make it a better place. We can make it a better place. If
together. If you don't mind, those that are willing and able, would you stand as we transition into our Black National Anthem? We want to see those fists up in the air as we go on, okay?
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Oh, sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
Amen. Now let us greet very warmly our very own Reverend Dr. Jeanette C. Wilson for our invocation.
Our Father and our God, we pause to pray for those who are unhoused on the coldest day of the year. God, we praying for those families who are residing on a daily basis in shelters or living with different families as they try to face these cold days and winter that lie ahead. God, we're praying for peace all over the world, particularly in Gaza, in Ukraine, in Haiti, and even in our United States of America. Wherever there's violence, God, would you give them peace, that they might survive and children might grow up in a world without guns, without violence. God, we're praying for the continued strengthening of our founder, our COO, Yusuf Jackson. We're praying for the entire Jackson family and the Push family as we seek to be servants and feeding your people, meeting those needs. We're praying for those families who are facing rising tax bills, property tax bills. Give us a way out. God, we're praying for a moratorium on these inhumane taxes. And so, God, we know that you can do anything but fail, and we're asking now that as we go forward in this broadcast, that you would touch some hearts, that they might help us meet needs as we seek to give 4 million bags of groceries between now and the end of January to families all across the United States. Touch the hearts of those corporations that they might help us in this giving movement. Touch the hearts of families who already have food, that they might help us give food to those who are facing SNAP benefit cuts, those whose children were on Title I, breakfast and lunch every day. Help us feed the hungry, clothe the naked, and then give vision to those who are blind and do not understand. We ask these things knowing you're God that can do anything but fail. Let every heart say, amen. I want to, as you take your seats, I want you to welcome to Push for the first time the wonderful students of Boucher Elementary School. Won't you stand? Boucher, won't you stand? These are some young people. They all dressed up to be with us on this Saturday, this Youth Day. We thank the principal and the young men from Boucher. You may be seated. Now, let me tell you, we're launching a big program to feed 4 million people across the United States. Reverend Jackson has asked us to identify faith and civic organizations in 20 cities across America. And we're asking each of those organizations to consider, at a minimum, distributing 200 bags per week. We've got faith leaders that have already come online, the Church of God in Christ nationally, the National Baptist USA, the Progressive National Baptist, the African Methodist Episcopal Church, the Lutheran Church of America. All are saying they're in. And if you want to be in, we want to have your church. Call us right now, 773-256-2700, 773-FREEDOM. Tell us if your church wants to be listed as one of the faith institutions. We're asking the Panhandle, all of the sororities and fraternities. We know you're able. We want you to help us meet our goal of 4 million bags of groceries by January 31st. We're starting right now. We're going to announce more on every Saturday. We'll give you updates, let you know how many we're giving. We're giving 300 bags of groceries. Today is still time to get here. Press your way. We got chickens, and we have all kinds of canned goods and things that you can make meals with every day leading up to Christmas. You don't want to miss this. And then we want those of you who are listening, watching, and here. Next week we have toys. We have more groceries. You want to come to Push, 930 East 50th Street. We're giving 300 bags a week, plus toys, plus coats donated by the Leak and Spencer Leak Jr. and the Leak family and Africa. We thank them for these gifts. We got some warm winter coats, so if your child is cold, if you're cold, we have coats for you. We have groceries for you. Where do you come? 930 East 50th Street. Every day this week, but big time on Saturday, we have toys for young people. Thank you so much.
Thank you to Reverend Dr. Jeanette Wilson. And I know that we have a video coming up in a hot second here from the Tuskegee Next. But I want you all to be excited about some of the folks that we have here today that's going to speak to you. Tara Stamps is here from the Cook County Board of Commissioners. She's the commissioner for the 1st District. I thought y'all was going to start clapping. Tara Stamps is here. Miss Jane Ruby is here. She's the Chicago president of the League of Women Voters. Brother Malcolm Crawford is here, executive director of the Austin African American Business Networking Business Association. Our keynote speaker this morning is going to be that of Reverend Marshall Hatch Jr., who's the executive director of the Ma'afa Redemption Project. I know that you all know all about this. And so before we get to all of that, I want to bring up, as we prepare for this video montage, also the executive liaison and board member of the Tuskegee Next program, Sister Angel Atawia, is here. Will you greet her very warmly at this time? I want her to come and address us at this moment. Actually, feast your eyes upon the video first, and then Sister Atawia is coming, okay?
This ain't your average fighter. This one didn't just step into the ring. They stepped into the cockpit. This champion, the fight isn't just to win on the ground, it's to rise above it. Founded in 2015 in the spirit of the Tuskegee Airmen, this organization knew the odds were stacked against them. The training was expensive. The access was limited. And for these young black and brown students, the runway to opportunity was full of barriers. But when you know you have a champion in the making, the sky's the limit. With an 8-week summer program, participants are introduced to the fundamentals, flight training, and access to get their private pilot and drone certifications. The program gives the youth full contact exposure and a mentorship pipeline. From simulators to real takeoffs, they give youth the skills and the courage to look fear in the face and go full throttle. This journey costs a lot. The training, the lack of minorities, and an already short list of contenders can take its toll mentally and financially. But with bold partnerships and fearless fundraising, this mission keeps the fighting spirit alive and soaring to new levels. Crown crowning moments is the Red Tail Ball, a celebration of legacy and liftoff to pay honor to these champions. Their greatest wins, alumni finding jobs in aerospace, mentoring others, and proving there's no limit to what a true champion can reach. Ladies and gentlemen, hailing from the Windy City of Chicago, please welcome the high-flying, barrier-breaking force that is Tuskegee Next.
Good morning, everybody. It is an honor to be here today. My name is Angel, and I've had the honor to be a part of the organization for 10 years. Our mission is simple. We want to transform the lives of youth through aviation education, career path assistance, so they can not only transform themselves, but their community. To date, we've had over 90 kids go through our program free of charge. They receive a $35,000 scholarship, and within that scholarship, they earn their PPO and drone certification. You don't want to hear from me. I brought two of my incredible pilots with me, and I just want to give them a couple minutes to introduce themselves. First is Pilot Kai.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kai Wright. I'm currently a junior at the Delaware State University, and I'm a graduate of the 2024 cohort of Tuskegee Next. All my life, I've been mesmerized by airplanes. When I was a young girl, I can remember taking my very first flight. I was so excited, but I was able to see that there was no one in the cockpit who looked like me, so I never even knew that my dream was possible until I found Tuskegee Next. This program exposed me to a community of African American people who look like me working towards the same goal. And it put me on a pathway to start a very successful career in aviation. And here you will get more than just flight training, but also representation and confidence. Seeing pilots who look like you changed everything. It changes everything for me, honestly. And I walked in with fear, and for me, fear was pretty normal, but the program helped me push past it and put me in play with many mentors, and I'm here to offer Tuskegee Next to you today. And to say it was the best thing that I could have ever done for myself. The program literally changed my life. It opened up doors for me that wouldn't have been accessible otherwise. In Tuskegee Next, you'll literally learn everything there is to know about becoming a pilot. You'll end with your private pilot certificate, your drone certificate, you'll get free flight hours, and also free food. Who doesn't like free food? So if you've ever looked up at a plane in the sky and wondered what it would be like to fly or just be in the cockpit, please apply. And I'm standing here today as proof that you can be whatever you want to be. You can be a pilot no matter where you come from or what you look like. And up next, we'll have Miles McNair to speak.
Good morning. How are you all doing today? My name is Miles McNair. I'm a first-year flight education major at Hampton University, and I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois. Growing up, like Kai, I never saw any pilots that looked like me. Every time I get on the airplane, I'd just be like, I've literally never seen anyone who looks like me in the cockpit. I'd always love to get the window seat. And after the flight, I'd always ask the pilots if I could go to the cockpit, and I saw all the buttons. I was like, wow, there is no way I'll ever know what all those buttons do. And then just growing up, my mom, she would always sign me up for the Aerostar aviation camps. And then that way, I learned a little bit more about aviation. I was like, maybe this is something I could do. And then my junior year of high school, I actually started flight school, but it got way too expensive. So I kept looking for scholarships, and then I eventually found out about Tuskegee Next. And it's one of the best things that's ever happened to me in my life. Besides the free flight training, that's amazing, but you're going to be pushed to your limits, you're going to be challenged, and that really helped me grow as a person. They give you a bunch of mentorship opportunities, and it's your first step in the door in the aviation industry. Less than 2% of pilots are black, which is a number that we're trying to raise up, and it's a number that we are raising today. So to be able to be a part of that raising number and to be able to represent the Black community in such a beautiful way in aviation, it's an honor to me. And I wouldn't have this opportunity without Tuskegee Next. Thank you.
And I would just like to close with this. Our enrollment for next year's cohort is open now. It ends December 31st. I have my incredible program director, Maeve, here with me, and 2 of our alumni. So if you have any questions on aviation or just would like to apply to our program, we'll be out in the lobby, and we look forward to seeing you there. Have a great day. Happy holidays.
Well, let's thank God for them. I'm so glad to be able to hear. Did you hear that? Less than 2% of pilots are Black and African American. I want to be able to tell you all that if I get on the plane and find that my pilots are African American like them, I will not be disturbed. I won't be worried about anything. In fact, I'll feel a little bit more safe. Can we thank God for the Tuskegee Next program? So glad to see all of these young people here. Guess what? I got to be able to make a very interesting announcement as of this morning. Not only are we live on YouTube, not only are we live on Facebook, but for the first time, we're streaming live on TikTok this morning as well. You can find us on TikTok at Rainbow Push Coalition as well. Stream us and watch us live on TikTok. And in our first TikTok announcement, if you will, we want to be able to dedicate our broadcast to the family of the civil rights icon from Atlanta, Dr. Joseph Joe Beasley. I'm sure you remember Joe Beasley. He passed away this week, and we want to be able to dedicate our broadcast to him this morning. And so let me be able to get my few little remarks out of the way, if I can just take 4 minutes or maybe even less, just to be able to tell you that it was on May 17th in 1957 that the prayer pilgrimage for freedom was organized, and it was a civil rights demonstration in the United States at the Lincoln Memorial, and organized by A. Philip Randolph and the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, and so on and so forth. One of the largest civil rights gatherings at that time. The demonstration was to urge President Eisenhower to enforce school desegregation after Brown versus Board of Education and to support voting rights. I'm going somewhere with this. This would mark Dr. King's first national speech. It launched him to a very national stage in 1957. And what happened was he gives his famous speech called Give Us the Ballot. Anybody ever heard of that speech from Dr. Martin Luther King? I know that we all talk about it, I Have a Dream. I want to talk about Give Us the Ballot for just a hot second. In that speech, he emphasized that the ballot is the very key to justice itself. And so therefore, in other words, Dr. King was advocating that we needed the ballot, I wish y'all would listen to me, to create an ecosystem that allowed Black and brown people to thrive because their best interests would be met. But today we're not running from lynching and angry white mobs anymore. Our fight has become so much more complicated than that. I'm so glad to see all these young people here because I want to be able to tell you that we now have to fight disproportionately high property taxes in Black and brown neighborhoods these days. They don't put jelly beans in the jar anymore for grandmother to count. What they're actually doing is taking pork and beans off the kids' table. They can't eat anymore. SNAP is being affected very seriously. All of these different things are happening, and I want us young people to look at the fact that if Dr. King did in 1957, that in 2025, if you give us the ballot, we really won't fumble this play. And I'm speaking specifically to my peers because I don't want to harm I don't want to mean no harm or no disses to all of my elders. But when it comes to the next election, how many know that the midterm election is coming up in 26? In the next election, millennials and Gen Zers have the ballot. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. According to Brookings Institution, it's a nonpartisan think tank that conducts research and provides analysis on public policy. Millennials and Gen Zers are poised to account for more than half of all eligible voters in 2026. And Gen Zers, meaning you was born between 1997 and 2012, you're either 12 years old or 28 years old, between those ages. Millennials were born 1981 to 96, so you're between the ages of 29 and 44. There'll be more than 60% of voters by 2036. It's an upward trend. And I believe if you give us the ballot, the only problem that when we get the ballot, we're confused with the politics of, oh, it's a Democrat or a Republican. Am I talking to some of the young people? Young people say, well, I don't know if I want Democrat or Republican. I don't trust either one of them. But I need for you to understand it's not a matter of red or blue. It's not a matter of donkey or elephant. It's quite literally a matter of life and death on both sides. Because when you don't do politics, politics is sure the heck to do out of you. And so somebody decided that your taxes had to go up. Somebody decided that your grocery prices would increase while your salary decreased. Somebody decided that your student loans would not be forgiven and disproportionately affect your credit, placing you at an economic level much further than your counterparts. Somebody that's on the ballot decided that. I'm at my 4 minutes and I have to wrap this piece up so I can get my next speaker up, but I want you to know who's on the ballot in the 2026 midterm. If Gen Zers and millennials have the ballot and are 60% of the vote by 2036, half of the vote by 2026, your senator and your representative in the United States Congress is on the ballot. Your governor is on the ballot. Your state senator and state representative is on the ballot. If you don't like your property taxes, the county assessor is on the ballot. If you need your birth certificate or grandmama's death certificate, the county clerk is on the ballot. If they're doing your family member wrong in the county jail, the sheriff is on the ballot. If you're wondering where your property tax money is going, the county treasurer is on the ballot. If you're concerned about policy in Cook County, the county commissioners are on the ballot. If they rejected your tax assessment appeal, the Cook County Board of Review is on the ballot. If you're worried about the quality of water coming out of your faucet, the Water Reclamation Board is on the ballot. And if you just want to see justice administered in a fair and impartial manner, then the Cook County Circuit Court judge is also on the ballot in 2026. I found that it's not that young people don't care. It's just the simple fact that they did not know. And if you knew what was on the ballot, I think when they gave it to us, that we would not fumble this bag. And I'll be able, hopefully in 2026, we'll do some more civic engagement courses. You'll be able to hear me talk then. I'm supposed to really just be the moderator. But I want you all to understand what's going on in the 2026 municipal, or rather in the midterm election. Let me get out of the way because I want to bring, as I just mentioned, that the Cook County commissioners were up for re-election. Is that right? Well, my fellow Central State graduate is in the room this morning. Cook County Commissioner from the 1st District, Sister Tara Stamps, is here. And I'm just so glad because both of us coming up here with that good HBCU Central State degree. Would you give a hand to our County Commissioner, Sister Tara Stamps, this morning?
I would be out of order if I didn't say for God, for Central, for State. Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Cook County Commissioner Tara Stamps of the 1st District. The 1st District covers everything from Manheim Road to Western, from Grand Avenue to Harrison. Each Cook County Commissioner, there are 17, services or are responsible for approximately 300,000 constituents. They call them constituents. I like to call them our neighbors. But I want to just lay some groundwork before we talk about these property taxes, and they gave me 4 minutes, so I'm going to cut across the field. However, I am leaving some handouts with Reverend Jeanette that I think is important because before I'm anything, A, I'm a mama, and B, I'm a teacher. And so school is now in session. So that we know, this is how it goes. The Cook County assessor sets the property tax value. He puts the price tag on your home. The appeal option is the Board of Review. The Board of Review says, oh, you don't think that's how much your house is worth? Let us take another look at it. Now, what you may not know is that you get 2 bites at this appeal apple, as it were. When the Cook County assessor does your property taxes, then he can make an appeal, and then you can appeal to the Board of Review. Next on that is the state appeal. We call them PTAB, Property Tax Appeal Boards. Big corporations go to PTAB all the time to have their property taxes re-examined in the hopes that they will get a lower assessment. Local governments decide how much money they need. That is a levy. So when you hear people say, well, we didn't raise it, the levies did. Those levies are our schools, our park districts, libraries. Then there is the county clerk who calculates the tax rate. The Cook County treasurer sends bills and collects taxes. The banks, let's not leave them out, collect taxes monthly through mortgage escrow. The impact, higher taxes can cause financial strain, displacement, and gentrification. So, good morning. First, the Cook County assessor determines the assessed value of every parcel. That is, he estimates it. If you disagree with that, you can appeal. Once assessed, you can appeal it again. Now, why is there a levy? There's a simple dollar amount that taxing bodies say they need to operate, i.e. schools, police districts. The levy combined with total assessed value in the district determines the tax rate. What happens to make the bill skyrocket? Well, this is what happened to make the bill skyrocket. The short version is reassessment. The large reduction in commercial values, the appeals, the outcomes shift the burden to the homeowners. Now, that will be the answer of KG. What I am going to tell you is that the property tax issue is a very complicated problem because, as you heard me lay out, there are so many different entities that have something to do with our property taxes. But I believe if we ground the education and ground the understanding, then it will be less complicated and more demystified. So when the Cook County assessor this time did the triannual, when he reassessed some of the property values within the city, 3 of the poorest communities had the highest assessment. West Garfield saw the median raise of 133%. Lawndale, 99%. Inglewood, 80%. Now, why is that a problem? Because anybody living in any of those communities would not be able to sell their property, their home right now at the value in which it was assessed. So what can they do? Well, now you can go and apply for a certificate of error. The certificate of error says, yo, you got that wrong. I don't think I owe this. I don't think my house is that valuable. Can you reassess it? If you are approved for a certificate of error, they will reassess and then they will reissue you a new tax bill. What our seniors can do, 65 and older, and if they meet the requirements, you can apply for a tax freeze. You can apply for a senior freeze. You can apply for your exemptions that you are due. The benefit of having those exemptions and those freezes that immediately they're applied immediately and they go back upwards of 3 years. So that means you can not only be due for a refund, but your property taxes will be frozen at that rate. I represent the 1st District. I asked from my list of my seniors who may not have applied for that benefit. Do you know there are over 5,000 seniors in the 1st District who have not applied for their senior freezes or their exemptions? And if I got 5,000 in my district, I believe there are probably thousands in these 17 districts across our county who have not applied for it. And so I'm urging our seniors to call your representative, your Cook County Commissioner, to see if your name is on the list so that you can apply for the freezes and the exemptions that you are due. Now, this is what I want you all to understand. During COVID, our assessor, Frisk Kagi, did something that was very controversial and unprecedented. He unilaterally made a decision that cut the property tax assessments by 10%, thereby alleviating some of the pressure, some of the financial strain that was put on families. He also made this unilateral decision once before in the North Shore, in a community that's pretty wealthy, and their homes were on a floodplain. And he said because the homes were on a floodplain, those homes were subject to flooding, and thus he allowed them to have a property tax assessment. Now, it's my understanding that not everyone benefited for that, but that is really not the issue. The question is, what can we do now? What can be done to alleviate some of this pressure, some of this strain, some of these financial hardships that our community is feeling? Well, I declared that a unilateral decision can be made that will bring some relief to these families. Now, I've had this conversation with the assessor, and he said that it's not legal, it can't be done. He said a number of things, and what I'm going to say is we got to push back. We got to say that if you made a unilateral decision once, you can make a unilateral decision again, and you can bring some relief to those families that need it most. But if we don't turn up the heat and apply some pressure, then we will continue to get the can kicked down the road. Finally, it is a mistake to have any one of these entities speak to us directly to say, hey, this is what's going on, because what happens is the assessor blames the Board of Review blames the assessor, the treasurer blames Tyler, which is the computer system, and then the clerk is sitting in the middle of it, and the state says, well, we don't really have anything to do, we just set law. Everyone has something to do, and in the meantime, our people pay the price. Both literally and figuratively, we pay the price. There are families right now making decisions about whether they're going to be able to send their children to college or have to pay this exorbitant mortgage that's gone up 133%. There are seniors who have already paid for their homes, but may not be able to afford these taxes, that are afraid that they may lose their homes. So, beloved, we must turn up the heat on our elected officials, and you will be hearing from my brother, Pastor Hatch, momentarily, but I want to just share with you on this Monday at the Church of the Harvest, the Leaders Network is having a panel with all of the elected officials and all of the offices that represents the property taxes, so that they can explain to the people, each one of those offices, what has happened and what can be done. So I encourage you all to come to that meeting. There needs to be standing room only. I'm sure that he will speak more to that, but there needs to be standing room only. Finally, for those of you who know you won't be able to pay that tax bill on Monday, the treasurer, Maria Pappas, has extended a payment plan for that. Please go to the treasurer's office on the website, cookcountytreasurer.com, and if you need to, you can apply for that level of relief. But the real solution is in our education and applying the pressure to the elected offices to put a freeze on property taxes and a cap. Many other states have done it, and it can happen in Illinois as well. Thank you.
Certainly appreciate County Commissioner Tara Stamps, and I want our wonderful band to be able to come. Let's get a little upbeat in here and have a little bit of music. I know some of our young people may feel like this may be a little boring, but I can guarantee you, in a few years, you're going to be wondering about your property taxes too.
Who opens doors that I cannot see? What's the answer, y'all? Jesus will. Jesus will. Oh, who will make all my decisions for you? Jesus will, oh God, Jesus will. Hey, when I'm in trouble, He gives me a song. Hey, in the night season and all the day long. Hey, who makes me do right when I wanna do wrong? Jesus will. Oh God, Jesus will. Oh yes. Oh, hey, Jesus will. I know He will, because He. Oh yeah, Jesus will. I know He will. He said He will. You fight my battles if I can still live by them. I know that He will. Oh, Jesus.
together. We're a civil rights organization, but we do believe that Jesus will, okay? I want us to be able to get our moderator up, or no, I am the moderator, okay. I want us to get our keynote speaker up this morning and the person of our very own. He's no stranger to us at all. He's blessed us many, many times before. He is the executive director of the Ma'afa Project. He is, of course, the Ma'afa Project is a Chicago-based workforce social and spiritual development initiative for black and brown men ages 18 to 30. I want you, as the Bible says, he's of age, he can speak for himself, to greet very warmly the Reverend Marshall Hatch Jr. this morning, our keynote speaker. Come on, make him feel real good and welcome.
Oh, bless the Lord, oh my soul, and let all that is within me bless his holy name, for the Lord is good. His mercy is everlasting, and his truth endures from generation to generation. Can we give it up for Push on this morning? It's so good to see so many of you. I want you to turn to your neighbor real quick and say, neighbor, it's good to see you. Neighbor, you are fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of God. Give it up for the one sitting next to you. We thank God for the Push family. We thank God for Reverend Jesse Jackson and the Jackson family. We thank God for the founders of Rainbow Push. I believe 1971 was the year, and 300 faith leaders, including Reverend Jackson, founded this great institution. And somebody say the push is still on. We are still pushing, and we have to keep on pushing because there's so much that we're facing right now. It's good to see the young people in the room. I want y'all to raise your hand, or better yet, stand, and let's celebrate you. All of the young folks, 18 and under. Come on, we can do better than that. Look at these young people, y'all. This is the future of Push in this room. I also want to, you can take your seats, young man. I love you all with your ties. Is that my brother's keeper? Wow, give it up for my brother's keeper. Glory to God. Glory to God. As Reverend Barnes mentioned, I am the proud executive director of the Ma'afa Redemption Project. We invest in young men on the great west side of Chicago and West Garfield Park. And we have one of our young men who graduated from our inaugural cohort. His name is Brother Marquise Pitts. Please stand, Brother Pitts. Can we give it up for him? This brother is doing incredible things. He's doing some incredible things in the neighborhood that produced him. He's now working at Rush University Medical Center. And he is one of the visionaries behind the Sankofa Wellness Village, which is a $50 million investment in 4 capital projects in West Garfield Park. This brother is doing incredible things. And so are so many other young people. I want to lift up a passage of scripture very quickly. It's a very familiar story, Daniel chapter 3, verses 16 through 18. We know this as the story of Nebuchadnezzar and the 3 Hebrew boys. And in verse 16, Nebuchadnezzar tells the 3 boys, I'll give you one more time, one more chance to bow to this image that I've created. And if you don't, who is the God who will rescue you, he says. Verse 17, the 3 Hebrew boys respond, and they say to him, we will not bow, because we serve a God who is able to rescue and deliver us. In verse 18, they say, but if God chooses not to deliver us, we still won't bow. And that's what I want to talk about for a quick moment this morning. But if not. But if not. We know this story. King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon, they had plundered Judah. They had extracted the best and the brightest, its young people, from Judah, and they transported them to a strange land. And these three Hebrew boys, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they find themselves in the belly of the beast. And Nebuchadnezzar erects a 90-foot gold statue of himself. And he calls all of the people in the kingdom to the plain of Dura. And he says, when you hear the music, that's your cue to bow down and worship this image that I have set up. These three Hebrew boys are told on by haters. So they're brought before the king, and that's where verse 16 comes in. Nebuchadnezzar says, I'll give you one more chance. If you don't bow, I'll throw you in a fiery furnace. And verse 17, they express their faith. They say, we believe in the God of our ancestors, and we believe that that God will rescue us. But if not, if God does not choose to rescue us, we still won't bow. He throws them into the fiery furnace that's cranked up 7 times hotter than its normal temperature. And then Nebuchadnezzar gets up, because whereas he threw 3 in, he sees 4 in the fire. And he says the 4th looks like the Son of God. That's the story. That's the story. Now, why is this story relevant? In other words, what do we learn from this story today? The first thing I thought about, this 90-foot gold statue that Nebuchadnezzar erects for himself, I thought about, where did he get the gold? Gold is not indigenous to Babylon. You can't mine gold in Babylon. And then I thought about the nature of empire. Empire is designed to plunder, to exploit, and to extract. So, of course, Nebuchadnezzar got his gold from the countries that he conquered. Why is that relevant? Brothers and sisters, it made me think about Sudan. Sudan is the 3rd largest gold producer in the world. 80% of the gold produced in Sudan is exported out of Sudan. There's also a civil war happening in Sudan since 2023. 12 million people displaced, 400,000 people murdered because it's a civil war. And those who are working in the gold mines are making $4 a day. Of course, what's fueling both sides is the fact that the global economy relies on the exploitation and the extraction of this resource that's in Sudan. As a matter of fact, the more unstable the global economy gets, the more reliant the globe, especially the West, is on gold. And of course, it made me think of Black Panther. Y'all remember that movie, Black Panther? Vibranium is essentially a metaphor for the resources that are exploited and extracted. Now you're asking, why are we talking about Sudan and not Chicago? And I would submit to you that they are connected. Your property is your gold. Your property is what's being plundered, exploited, and extracted. Commissioner Stamps already told you what the stats are. In West Garfield Park, 133% increase on property taxes. In North Lawndale, 98% increase in property taxes. In Inglewood, 80+% increase in property taxes. Trump Tower, 40% decrease in property taxes. Somebody say something just ain't right. Something just ain't right. It doesn't pass the smell test. Something is not right when your property values, when your property, your hard-earned money, the property that has been passed down to you, young people, when that's targeted by an exploitative system, is just a land grab. And we won't stand for it. We will fight until the end, because this is not right. And the truth of the matter is, all of this is in service of empire. That's what the text is about. Nebuchadnezzar thinks that he has the power of a god, that he can lord over you, that he can get his attorney general, Pam Bondi, to have the Justice Department declare your nonprofit, declare your organization anti-American, to declare you a domestic terrorist. Nebuchadnezzar is in the White House, but I believe that we got some Shadrachs and Meshachs and Abednegos in the room, in the country, and we say we will not bow. As I close, there are three things that I want to highlight, three things that we can learn from these three boys, and things that we can learn from the founders of PUSH. The first is we learn the power of identity. In chapter 1 of Daniel, we learn that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego is not even their real names. It's Mishael, Hananiah, and Azariah. Their names reflect their relationship with their God. The first thing is the power of identity. In other words, when Nebuchadnezzar brings these three boys to his palace, basically trying to intimidate them, the three boys, when they respond and say, "We won't bow," they say that because they know who they are. They say, "You may have given us strange names. You may have stripped us of our culture. You may have stripped us of the names that were supposed to be passed down, but we know who we are. We're children of God. And we weren't made in an image of gold. We were made in an image of God. So we won't bow." And that's the message for especially our young people. They may have stripped us of our names. My last name is Hatch, which is a German name. Do I look German to you? We got these strange names, but we serve the God of our ancestors, who is an intergenerational God, and the same God of Frederick Douglass, Fannie Lou Hamer, Martin King, Sojourner Truth. The same God that they served is the same God that we serve. And it's that God, Yahweh, who reminds me who I am, the power of identity. So I won't bow. In fact, I can't bow to anyone who thinks that they have power over me. Number two, not just the power of identity, the power of integrity. Somebody say integrity. In verse 17, that's what they say. They say, but if not, if God chooses not to deliver me, I still won't bow. Why? Because God has done enough for me from my birth to now, that if he chooses not to deliver me right now, he's already done enough. That's integrity. The integrity of the relationship between me and my God. It means that come what may, when the pressure is on, when the threat of death is before me, I won't crack under pressure, because I serve a God who is able to deliver. But if God chooses not to deliver, I'm still a child of God. Number three is solidarity. In other words, the text says that the three boys said, we won't bow. But if you look closely at the text, they can't all speak at once. I believe it was Abednego who stepped up. Why Abednego? Because his nickname was a bad Negro. And he stepped up and he said, we won't bow. And he forced the other two to say, yeah, we won't bow. Solidarity. And that's what we need, because in the text, their solidarity was linked to their salvation. In other words, because they stood with each other, because it was all for one and one for all, when they were thrown in the fire, 3 became 4. And somewhere I read in scripture, wherever 2 or 3 are gathered in the name of the Lord, somebody say he'll show up and he'll show out and he will deliver. We learn the power of identity, the power of integrity, and the power of solidarity. Very quickly, I want to land with the story of Stevie Wonder, who is a living legend. In 1973, Stevie Wonder was 23 years old. 3 days before a life-altering event, he had released the album Inner Visions. Y'all remember Inner Visions? He released Inner Visions, and he was on a tour through South Carolina, and he was on the passenger side of a car his cousin was driving. They were going down a meandering road, and they were driving behind a flatbed truck that was stacked with logs. And the driver of that truck slammed his foot on the brakes and caused a collision with the car that was driving Stevie Wonder. One of the logs smashed through the windshield, striking Stevie in the forehead, and he was in a coma 3 days. When one of his young people, named Ira Tucker, came to the hospital, he said to himself, I need to figure out how to wake Stevie up out of this coma. And y'all know what he started to sing? He reached down in Stevie's ear and he started to sing Higher Ground. People keep on learning. The powers, they keep on lying. And people keep on dying. But it won't be too long. He says, preachers keep on preaching. Teachers keep on teaching. Sleepers, just stop sleeping, because it won't be too long. And then as he started to sing, Stevie's fingers started to tap to the song. And after Stevie woke up, he said, I wrote that song months ago, but now that song means something different. And brothers and sisters, as a youngster coming to push every Saturday, that song, Higher Ground, used to be sung every Saturday. And Jesse Jackson would have us raise our fists and say, I am somebody. And those words would take us what? To higher ground. And that's what I want to leave you with. Preachers, keep on preaching. Teachers, keep on teaching. Believers, keep on believing. It won't be too long. Why? Because we serve a God who is able to meet us in the fires of our time and take us to higher ground. Somebody say higher, 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 higher. God bless you.
Come on, Push family, let's put our hands together for Reverend Hatch and the word that was given to us today. Listen, let's stay in this mood, in this moment of higher ground, and I want you to commit yourself to giving to the mission and the vision of the Rainbow Push family and the Rainbow Push Coalition. Listen, there are folks standing in the aisles with envelopes. There are those of you who want to give via cash, those of you who want to give via credit card, or just give online. There are QR codes you can take pictures of. I am Reverend Jamar Boyd II, Senior Pastor of Kenwood United Church of Christ, one of the first congregations that held a meeting with what was then Operation Breadbasket, that is now the Rainbow Push Coalition. And I want you to give today. These young people are here. I got my tie on too. I'm committed and connected with you all. And those of you who are watching, I am encouraging you to give financially to the vision and the mission of Rainbow Push, whether it's $5, $10, $20, $200, or $2,000. We want you to give to the mission and the vision that was set by the Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson. So I'm going to give you a few minutes. I'm going to give you a few moments. Give, and give like your life depends upon it. Thank you.
Sleepers, just stop sleeping. I want us to come on. Can we thank God for Dr. Marshall Hatch Jr.? I said, Doctor, I'm speaking something into existence. Lord have mercy. Come on, thank God for him. I want us, as we're getting our offering together, as we're getting up to higher ground, I want you to know that if you need to do a certificate of error, you can submit one today at Rainbow Push, a certificate of error if you need your property taxes reassessed and looked at. Do that today. This Thursday from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m., Cook County Board of Review Commissioner Larry Rogers, his office will be here if you need to do an appeal, if you need to do a certificate of error, if you are not happy with your property taxes, okay? At the same time as we're continuing to do our offering, before Sister Jane Ruby comes and she's going to speak to us, Brother Gregory Thornhill is here. And I want to be able to do this while Gregory is here because he's got to get to the funeral of Dr. Isaac Whitman. How many remember Dr. Isaac Whitman? God bless him and that family. Gregory Thornhill has created a collage for a lot of different people, a lot of different large-scale people. Pastor Shirley Caesar, Congressman Danny Davis, Father Charles Hayes, Pastor John Hanna, Dr. Matthew Stevenson, so many others. And he thought it not robbery to come to Rainbow Push and to commission a piece for our very own rendition of our bad Negro, Dr. Hatch. He wanted to do one of the Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson Sr., and he wanted to present this at Rainbow Push today. Brother Thornhill, come in right quick, right quick.
Good morning, everyone. I had typed out a little something to say, but I'm going to just speak from the heart. I count it a blessing to be here, to be able to present this to a living legend. We thank God for Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson and all that he has done. As he said, I am a member of the Cosmopolitan Church of Prayer on the south side of Chicago, and my name is Gregory Thornhill, owner and proprietor of Gifted Hands Enterprises. And I just want to present this to the Rainbow Push Coalition for you all to do as you please in honor of Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson. Thank you so much. Thank you.
We thank you, Brother Thornhill, and for all that he has done and for Gifted Hands, his ministry of will. Can continue being able to give. Sister Jane Ruby is coming right now. She is the Chicago president of the League of Women Voters. She's been involved with the League since 2016 and held the position of president since 2022. And so she's going to be one of our last speakers this morning. Would you all greet very warmly, and I mean very warmly, Sister Jane Ruby.
Good morning, Rainbow Push Coalition. It is an honor to stand here in such a historic place. Normally, and you know, people who are here regularly, normally my son is running around the halls, and you know, that's exactly the kind of foundation that I want for him. He's 2.5, and since he was born, he has known Push and known this historic institution, and I couldn't be more prouder to be a member of the Rainbow Push Coalition and family. As Cameron said, my name is Jane Ruby, and I am president of the League of Women Voters of Chicago. And I'm so inspired to look out here and see all of the young people sitting here today. When I look at students, and I do a lot of work with young people, I see hope. I see the future of our democracy, and I feel the spirit of those who have come before us, standing on their shoulders as we continue the fight for justice and equality. We gather here today in the house that Reverend Jesse Jackson built, the Rainbow Push Coalition, an organization that has always been a voice for those that need to find their voices, and for leveling the playing field in our society. The coalition's mission has been to protect and gain civil rights, and to make the American dream a reality for all people. Here under this roof, we carry forward a legacy of activists who refuse to accept injustice. This is a legacy young voters inherit today. And with that legacy comes responsibility. A responsibility to use your voice and your vote to continuing to bend the arc of history towards justice. Think for a moment about how precious your right to vote is. It was not gifted freely. It was paid for with struggle, sweat, and even blood. Even the young of past generations spoke up. In the late 60s, students protested chanting, "Old enough to fight, old enough to vote," until the voting age was lowered to 18. Each step of the way, the message was clear. The vote is our power, and it must belong to every citizen, young and old. Now it is our turn, your turn, to carry that torch forward. Today we are still pushing boundaries to empower young voters. Right here in Illinois, we have to pass the Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. Young Voter Empowerment Law, which works to make sure that every high school senior graduates not just with a diploma, but also with the opportunity to register to vote. Think about that. Our community and our leaders are fighting to put into law the idea that you deserve to have your voice heard from the moment you finish high school. This law, named after Reverend Jackson himself, is a tribute to you, the next generation of voters. And it is a challenge to all of you to step up and participate. The League of Women Voters is proud to support efforts like this. We've worked for over 100 years to encourage all Americans to take charge of their democracy, and that absolutely includes each one of you soon-to-be voters. Laws and initiatives like this are there because we believe in the power of your voice. And make no mistake, your voice does have power. If anyone has ever felt like, I'm just one person, what can my vote do? Let me tell you, history has shown us that it can do a lot. In 1960, a close presidential election was decided by a margin of just 112,000 votes. That averages to less than 1 vote per precinct across America. 1 vote per precinct. Imagine if one class of seniors in each school decided to stay home. History could have changed. Every vote matters, and your vote could be the one that tips the balance. And beyond the math, your generation's collective voice is huge. Voters aged 18 to 34 make up nearly 1/5 of the American electorate, over 40 million potential young voters. 40 million. That is a mighty chorus of young voices that can help decide elections, influence leaders, and direct the future of this nation. Even more important than your numbers is your passion and perspective. You are the most diverse generation of young voters in American history. You come from different backgrounds, races, religions, and identities, and you bring fresh eyes to our nation's challenges. Your ideas on the economy, on climate change, on education and equality, these ideas are urgently needed in our political conversation. When you vote, you inject new energy, new viewpoints, and new solutions into our democracy. Young voters, fresh perspectives, and diversity make your voices critical in shaping our nation's future. Look at the movements led by youth in recent years, from climate activism to social justice protests. Young people are already leading. By voting, you turn that activism into concrete change. You have the power to elect leaders who listen and become leaders yourselves one day. As the Rainbow Push Coalition has always taught, when people come together from across our beautiful differences, when we form our own rainbow, we can push forward progress that once seemed impossible and keep hope alive. Now, I know that sometimes politics can feel distant and frustrating. I know some of you might think, does my participation really matter, or will the system listen to me? I want you to remember that every generation before us has faced those same doubts, and they answered them by showing up, by refusing to sit on the sidelines, by voting time and time again, even when it was hard. That is how you change the world. Today we need you to do the same. Your participation absolutely matters, not just for you, but for all of us. When you vote, you honor the legacy of those who fought for the right. When you vote, you send a message that hope is alive in our democracy, that we will not surrender our future to apathy or cynicism. When you vote, you empower not only yourselves, but your community, because elected officials pay attention to those who vote. I'm sure Commissioner can vouch for that. If young people vote in great numbers, leaders will have no choice but to pay attention to young people's issues and what you guys care about. Imagine the policies we could see today. Tuition costs could be addressed because students demanded relief. Environmental policies could be stronger because young people insist on a livable planet. Policing and criminal justice reforms could advance because youth voters choose representatives committed to equality. That is the power of your vote in action. My friends, this moment is yours. You are not just the leaders of tomorrow, you are leaders today. By the choices you make and the actions you take. The fact that you are here interested in voting and civic engagement shows that you are ready to lead. As we look ahead, we carry with us the legacy of giants, from Dr. King and Reverend Jackson to the brave young people who marched and sang for freedom, to the suffragists and trailblazers who never gave up. We carry their legacy, and now we must also carry their work forward. They have handed us the baton. What will we do with it? I have faith in what you will do. I see in you the determination to build a better nation. I see in you the same fire that drove earlier generations to expand our democracy. You are the dream and hope of those who came before. Your voice, your vote, and your values are what will light the way for decades to come. So claim that power. Register to vote. Help your friends register. When Election Day comes, whether it's for local school board or President of the United States, show up. Sign up to be an election judge. Raise your voice, cast your ballot, claim your seat at the table. And I will end with, in this building, the Rainbow Push Coalition reminds us to keep pushing for what is right, and that you are somebody. Today, that hope lives in each of you. You are the hope of our community and our country. Together, let's continue the fight for a more just, more inclusive, and more vibrant democracy. Together, let's show the world that young people won't sit out. We will stand up, speak up, and shape our own future. This is your time to shine, your time to lead, and your time to make history with your vote. And never forget to keep hope alive. Thank you.
Never forget to keep hope alive. We certainly appreciate you all for joining us this morning for the Saturday Morning Forum. Can y'all do me a favor and just make enough noise that the Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson can hear you and Mrs. Jackson can hear you? We thank God for the Jackson family. We know that they're watching. Our COO, Yusef, we miss you. We're waiting for you to come back, the entire Jackson family. Now listen to the Tuskegee Next program, the Commissioner Stamps, Pastor Boyd, Reverend Hatch, Gregory Thornhill. Thank you all for being a part of this morning's Saturday Morning Forum. The Boucher Elementary School students, y'all wave at us. We're so glad to see you all. All these young people, we're so glad to see you all. We want to meet with these students so that you're a part of our STEM program, that you're a part of our oratorical program here at Rainbow Push. There is a place for young adults here at Rainbow Push. To our members, our donors, our friends, our volunteers, those who have been keeping us doing what we've been doing, we want to thank you so very much for joining us. Come back on next Saturday, December the 20th, where we will be here. It's Reunion Saturday. On next Saturday, you need to call somebody and text somebody. Make sure that they're here for Reunion Saturday. And today, on your way out the door, also next week, we're going to have Pastor Stephen Thurston is going to be our keynote speaker. You want to be here for Pastor Thurston, okay? We're going to give away over 300 bags of food today on your way out the door. If you don't need it, somebody on your block does. You should take one or two with you so that we can continue doing the mission that Reverend Jackson gave us. To all of you, we thank you so very much. My sister Ashley Munson is here. I see Sister Mary Datcher here. So many wonderful people. So good to see you all. Sister Dyson, good to see you all. How y'all doing? Everybody, thank you for being a part of my Saturday Morning Forum. We getting ready to go to higher ground. Is that all right? Can we stand and let me be able to pray us out? If you would, get somebody by the hand if you can. Our Father and our God, we thank you that we know you in times like these. More importantly, we're so grateful that you know us. We thank you that you have given us the ballot, given us the power to vote, given us the power to be able to appeal our property taxes when things happen disproportionately against us. We thank you that we will not bow, because even if you don't do it, we know that you're able to always. We love you. We lift you. We magnify you, bigger than every single thing that is coming against us. And so now take us from this place, never from your presence, and bring us back safely. Continue to lift our leader, our Jackson family, and the Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson. Keep us until we shall meet again. In our Father's name we pray. Amen, amen, and amen. We'll see you next Saturday. Get you some food in the lobby.
People keep on learning. Well, my soldiers